Oh, ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Ringru. Hello, hello, hello.
And folks, the continuing coverage of the SD2 Season 1 League. Today we are looking on Orsha East, that rather kind of zit-looking map, which now that I look at the map, kind of looks like an octopus if you squint.
Holy crap, it kind of does.
Actually more like a dualpus, but the idea is
Yeah.
there. Maybe a gingerbread man. But anyway, rank. Before I get too hungry, who's fighting and what are they bringing to the table?
I'm glad you can't see me because I look like an idiot squinting, but nonetheless, on the left-hand side in blue we have Spanischer Rita playing 20th Panzer with balanced income. And on the right-hand side we have a very angry bird playing 26 Guard Strelkovi with a Vanguard income.
Indeed. Now, one thing I'm always going to complain about is I like Spanish Arvaita as a player, but I hate his Ostrippen openings.
It just they don't really work Ostroupen, I find.
I just
Personally, yeah.
not in this game. I would say on numero uno on the Western Front, sure, because all you have to do there is worry about territory. But
hmm
here, it's a little harder to hold 51-49 or 50-50.
Yeah, yeah, I do feel like the reserve infantry, like the disheartened infantry, are no longer as uber tier as they were in SD-44.
And maybe part of that too is that I feel like the engagement distances over here are just so much greater than they were on
Yes,
SD-44.
yes, and more chances to get shot at by tanks and infantry guns from 2 kilometers. Support weapons are very important now.
Indeed, they are. Now, I'm looking at just like the concentration of firepower in the center here for Spanish Riveta. It's
hmm
interesting. He's got PaK 40s, he's got Zis guns, captured Zis guns. He's really quite concerned about the 26 going a lot of vehicles early.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good concern. 26 can bring out those KV tanks, which can be a pain in the ass with a rather thick armor. But, yeah, I'm really interested to see how... We've seen Spanisher, like a few weeks back, 320th Panzer. It went pretty terribly for him. Pretty much he played an open map and just didn't have the open AT capabilities to really
Hmm.
deal with it. But let's see how it works out. It's very interesting to see someone try to play a balanced income with Trent here, it's usually more of a Vanguard Maverick A phase B phase rush. So
Hmm.
it's we'll see how it goes. Angry Bird's got a very good deck. It's a good deck for this map. It's CQC. You can use infantry support KVs, the strokey, the guard spam that you have, the heavy artillery. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
It's been so interesting for me to kind of watch the early meta, basically for openings, especially for Russians, to say, "Oh, Ognamachiki," just they have just enough, you know, drive power, let's call it. That road speed being 105, I couldn't even come up with the number off the top of my head. They pretty much guarantee that initial land grab, which I never really kind of appreciated until today.
Yeah, those American horses are extremely powerful. It's a really interesting dynamic because the Russians have the Jeep advantage with their small infantry as they can get to the point first. But
Hmm.
in terms of general transports, the Opel Blitz is much faster than the Studebaker, so the German regular infantry usually beats out the Russian regular infantry and get into the front.
Is it pathetic that I just realized just now that DZHIP literally is just probably the
Yes.
pigeon version of Jeep?
Yeah, it's
That's
literally what that's literally what it is.
we've been doing this game for I don't know how many months now. Did not even put that together. It's so sad.
You learn something new every day.
Indeed, indeed. I'm happy I got to learn it with you. But the Austrian coming on in, but of course, when you have a lot of flame and fire there, you don't really want to carry on too much.
Yeah, Pat's a really good position reveals Okamachiki's. That's just halting the Osttrooper from moving up, allowing these rather thick Strafniki Scrotch to get to the front line and deliver their insane firepower. And heck, even that sniper's actually getting in on the action.
And one thing I do appreciate, the sniper squads aren't quite as OP as they used to be in terms of suppression.
Yeah,
It was
they're very different in SD-44.
They were absurd. Let's not forget there's a two-star 82 mil stovepipe over from the Russians that's completely shutting down this central German push.
Yeah, yeah, but definitely. Yeah, the Osttrooper never really go out great in terms of infantry firepower, especially against Strafniki. So this is a great opener here from Angry Bird. I mean, looking up north as well, Angry Bird is playing a forest rather well.
And I think he's trying to counter battery. I thought he was kind of trying to counter battery that northern IG-18, but nope, he's shooting a little further south. But you called it. We do have some early vehicles coming out from the Russians. In fact, it's just a single T-34 and a very
Mhm.
early Studebaker up to the north.
Yeah.
So interesting that we do see a supply truck in A, because as we've talked about recently, with the patch from so long ago, it is going to be rather devastating in terms of overall card supply,
Yes, yes. You just don't get many supply trucks anymore. So taking an A-phase supply truck card is costly,
to say the
but
least. Yes.
necessary, I'd say. Because if you know, if you have like a tank knocked out, like if you have a damaged tank in A-phase and you don't have a supply truck, you don't want to have to wait around 5 minutes.
I realized the Germans didn't really believe too much in snipers, but I always feel like there should be a sniper squad someplace.
It's usually my little Jaeger, like, light infantry division shit they have, yeah. Well, the Russians gave everyone a sniper.
Yes, they certainly seem to. The Stavniki definitely pinned down. It'd be a perfect time for the Osttroopen to make themselves actually useful by charging.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to try to go and just lay down some suppression fire, and this could be a brilliant mortar shot. Oh, lucky for them, they dropped out of the truck super just a smidge too early.
Yep, that's a pretty good hit share of the run 20 from Spanischer. But, Angry Bird, he's continuing to plowing through and getting those guard squads very close. Spanischer's front line.
I'm kind of fascinated to see what happens when the smoke clears, because this Pack 40, I think, should have line of sight pretty much up that road.
Yeah.
Oh, no, T-34's pulling off. Okay, lucky for him.
That's a very ballsy spot for the Pack 40. Out in the open, very close to the front line. That's risky, man. That's very risky.
Yeah, but the weird thing is I feel like Pack 40s almost have become, not quite an IG-18, but think like a direct version of the IG-18, I guess, if that makes any sense.
You saying they're good?
I'm saying that it's such a unique role that they play, and why they have a little more durability, I think just because they're able to be more multi-purpose, you'd almost kind of let them get away with it.
Yeah. They're pretty decent in the infantry support role, considering it's an AT gun. Just wish you have a little bit more HE shells.
That's a very delicate way of saying you're not quite right, Con, but I'll let you get away with it. Which, you know what? I'm proud that you do. Panzer Grenadiers to the front, and now as the Osttruppen fall back, the last remaining shreds of what used to be an infantry squad, we actually do have Piegrens coming in with Panzerfausts, and I can't help but feel that we're going to see a very quick Panzerfaust at this T-34.
It's just a little bit. Come on, hands, just move up a little bit. Yeah, we're all just crazy infantry fight going on. Spanischer is bringing up a Panzer III-L to try and deal with his T-34. Both are 2-cell veterancy, so it's a pretty even fight. And oh god, that was a lot of right flags being thrown up here.
Yeah, it was really quite well done.
Mm-hmm.
The Studebaker, as you might... Ooh, wait, is that... Oh, it's an IS-1 coming in super early.
Oh boy.
Big investment. That's a power play right there.
Mm-hmm. Good call, good call. It's very tough tank for 20th Panzer to really deal with. I mean,
Wow.
their best bet... they both just killed each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate to see that. I see another column coming in from the Reds. Just more guard squads, as you might suspect. It's a B4203 on the map as well.
Oh
Hugging
boy.
the map. Hugging the edge, rather.
That's an early 203. You can only get like one per card in A-phase with that, so... He really wants to have the artillery, and he wants it now.
This certainly sounds like it. Check into the north real quick. Yep, the Germans just kind of hanging out. I think we're not going to see much more than just containment from Spanischer Reiter, at least early on.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's Osttruppen as well. I'm sorry, yes, sir?
Yeah, Angry Bird, he has the Maverick income advantage, so it does make pretty good sense that he's making all these good headrays, but he's doing really good in terms of long game potential as well. That Northern Forest is very bountiful to hold on to, and usually pretty easy unless you get a little bit surrounded there by some peasy grins. Well, Angry Bird, he's got momentum. I mean, he's just bringing out just a whole platoon's worth of infantry.
Not uncommon. I guess the thing I'm going to be interesting to see is that these guard squads, like, they're just going to steamroll the Piegrens, do you think?
If they're getting close, they have a pretty good chance.
I can't help but wonder. Ooh, there's another P3L going to be brought on in. Where are the... Yep, here come the mortars. The mortars are going to start to shell that town yet again. I will say this begins to look like an old school SD game for us, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of infantry, a lot of, just like small tank play. Nothing too crazy. Both sides just, infantry and artillery, king of battle.
I'm taking a look at it over here from Spanischer Reto's side, and I'm trying to figure out what I'd be doing in his particular case. I'm fascinated by we had this 45 mil, this captured Russian gun on his left. That's doing quite well because of T-34 from this side.
Oh
IS-1
yeah.
is still owning the center. But how would you try to go and clean up this left patch of the Russians?
You mean up like north, northern
Map
forest?
north, yes.
Uh, artillery it from orbit and just try to have some pioneer infantry in B phase to clean it up. He probably doesn't have any like CQC infantry in A phase, I guess, so it's really a B phase problem trying to deal with that forest.
Actually, what's going to be a real problem here is if the Germans go and lose their... If they start getting stressed out, this entire thing's going to very, very poorly for them.
Oh, this is just human rave tactics from both sides here in the middle.
Yeah, well, they're Austrian, but he doesn't really much care about that, does he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh, two P3Ls. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, very, very light tank play from 20th Panzer. Really just using only P3Ls. So I'm guessing he might have some more B phase, C phase tanks. Probably just a lot of Panzer Force. Still no Boita IS-2. Last time we've seen Spanischer play, he didn't have a Boita IS-2, so I'm thinking it's going to be the same thing. So it's going to be a pirate-free match, probably.
One certainly wonders that, but there are... Whatever he's doing... Oh, wow, he actually can... He picked up some more territory. Where did he pick that up? Oh, that's
Oh yeah.
something town-ish.
Yeah. Yep. And the southern side, like, is completely quiet. Both sides are just, they shut up on their retrospective roads and just, chilling out. Spanisher is starting to move up just a wee bit with the regular PC Grange.
We've got nothing really to worry about. Yeah, there's this guns there. Yes, it's gonna suck. But when all is said and done, big stinking deal. And the IS-1 goes down. I think that was on the Pack 40.
Damn, that Pack 40 paid off.
I would say so. He's got very little in the way of HE shells anymore. Is an IG-18 coming forward? Yes, it is.
Yep.
Whatever happens, though, that hero is not going to last much longer.
I'm really impressed with that Pack 40. It's, like I said, it's really ballsy position to put it in, but it paid off in the end. Yeah, Angry Bird is just completely, he's going to be king of the hill very soon if he keeps this up.
Yes, but he's had his biggest chance to kind of have that knockout blow, and I don't think he's done enough damage. I mean, Phase B, he's going to start to drop off. He's going to get weaker and weaker the entire time. And now, what's coming in? Okay, well, Opel Blitz go after for the mortars. We have Pioneers with SVTs coming in. We have an entire other column of Osttruppen. We have... I don't know. I think this is where the comeback begins for Spanischer.
Yeah, I think for Spanischer, his best bet is probably just try to do a southern play, get some tanks down south, some recon units, and try to capture some easy flags down here instead of trying to fight over the Hamburger Hill of the mid.
This certainly seems to be a good question.
Mm-hmm. Because
there's been a lot of, it's been... Ooh. What killed that P3? Was that a PTRD?
I have no idea, but I'm gonna guess so. Maybe a T-34. It was something Russian over here.
By the way, there are two P3Ls up north. I'm curious to see what happens when those guys really get moving.
Yeah, they've been there for a while. Just chilling out.
And this P3 is going to die pretty quickly. The question is how many he can take before he does. And the answer to that is apparently very little.
Yeah, but it does seem like Angry Bird's pretty much king of the hill now. And, the high ground is a very good position, and usually a pretty easy position to hold. If he can put some AT guns on the far side of that hill, you can pretty easily stop anyone from coming up it.
You certainly can. I guess the question is how much suppression can be done. We actually see 3 squads of Russian infantry, 2 guards and a Strafniki going into that town. Super ballsy play. I love it.
Yeah.
Long-term prognosis isn't great, but all he needs to do is just hold him there for a couple of minutes and get some more ticket damage done here.
Yeah, this is like Angry Bird's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's fighting the infantry fight in the middle, and he wins the infantry fight against 20th Panzer. 20th Panzer does not have a lot of infantry units to spare, so it's exactly this is what Angry Bird needs to do. Is what I'm trying to say. Many words.
Now, here's the beginning of those P4s, and
Hmm?
plenty of Pioneers coming in. Oof, but that B4203, he's looking to find that artillery park, and I think if the Germans don't re-sight, they're going to lose their mortars pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, yeah. You may not want to have them out in the open, especially considering you have 203mm shells being dropped on top of your arse.
And the tanks can see them as well.
Hmm.
Yikes.
Like, big yikes. I mean, shoot the supply truck. Try to knock that out.
I am further amused by the fact that we have 3 squads of Pioneer SVTs that are going to completely take back this town.
Yeah. Semi-auto rifles, man. Semi-auto rifles. Yeah, that's one of the, like, few really good infantry units that you have with 20th, and you really have to rely on those Pioneer SVTs for those CQC-5 fights. He's also bringing a few up north and actually making a northern push now. It's only really Ogam and Shiki in here, and some Avtos, so the Pioneers actually have a pretty good chance of clearing this out.
Well, especially with the off-position support of those P3Ls.
Mm-hmm. Exactly,
Um,
yeah.
and it looks like, yeah, well, KV-85s are coming in, so we got 2 of those bad boys going right up the gut. And taking a little more of a defensive position, trying to prevent the Germans kind of retaking that summit. And probably a good plan, too.
Yeah. Yeah, Angry Bird just needs to keep on the pressure. I mean, he's not at the +2 lead that he was a little bit earlier, but if he keeps this up, he has a pretty good chance of holding out till the victory. Even though he does have the worst income later on, his deck, depends on how you build it, even with like an A-phase build, does have better attrition, I would argue, compared to a balanced 20th Panzer, especially in infantry.
Certainly true. I guess the thing that kind of I'm curious about is if the Germans can work the flanks, which suddenly seems to be sort of the case, will that be enough to balance out for this kind of devastating position that you're in right now?
Yeah, like southern flank would be his best bet. He did actually manage to grab one flag all the way down south, so that's pretty good. If he can capture that other flag in the southern area where the Panzerschreck is, that'd be another pretty easy position. And once you hold that, you can start making your way up north and try to get back on the hill through that angle.
I guess I'm also surprised that there's absolutely no Soviet material being plugged to the north to kind of back things up.
Yep, he's. I mean, he doesn't have any AT weapons up north. Well, he has the Avtomachikis. Gonna
No,
be a little bit
come on.
hard.
Yeah, I was going to
Yes.
say, yes, they technically have anti-tank stuff, but do you really feel insured when that happens?
No, it's more like, oh, my AT grenades did something. That's nice. I wasn't expecting that. It's like a pleasant surprise when it happens. But he might be actually able to sneak up and kill one of these P3s.
It is possible, and that would be just so painful to watch, but that looks like that's going to happen.
Very painful for the P3. Oh no,
Never
he's
mind, he just barely misses them. The P3s, I think, are going to get some great shots looking down that road. So when those superiors come up, they're going to get creamed.
oh yeah.
And Kreisov is coming on in as well, so the Su-85 is loaded for bear.
He's even got the extra side armor of all the logs.
You know what? I have never really taken a look at that, but you're absolutely right. That's awesome.
Yeah. Wouldn't be a Soviet tank without a log, you know.
Well, they have to log the changes everywhere they can.
Yep. Yep.
Well,
And we got
Hamburger Hill is continuing rather hamburgery.
Yeah, we got a bit of like a long range like tank fight here with Panzer IVs, shoot it out with KV-85s at a long distance. But Angry Bird's holding. He's holding well.
Certainly seems to be. Checking in the northern infantry is still fairly healthy. Look at the Superiors. Unique position for them. They're gonna be dropped off on the upper, I don't know what to call it, the upper plateau of that hill.
Mm-hmm.
Almost as amusing as the fact that the Soviet mortars just took out their own troops. Painful.
Painful. Very, very painful indeed. So Spanisher has completely captured that northern forest, and that's definitely gonna buy him some time, but he's gonna run into Khrushchev, however you say it, Oshov. And, oh no, we'll see how it goes.
Well, one P4 is shooting the wrong way. Or P3, rather. He's going after the infantry. My friend,
Oh, I don't think he has line of sight. No, I think he barely... Now he has line of sight. Or, no, he lost line of sight. Like that lot of forest in front of the SU-85.
Kind of weird to think that he can't see the SU-85 because of the trees. There we go. Crew killed.
Good hit, yeah, Leonard.
But 1311, Germans seem to be reinforcing their successes down below. There is a bit of a... Wow, it's rather unique. What's the Russian term for like a Kampfgruppen?
Oh, it's, like, it was battle groups, Turanian and whatnot.
Oh, true.
That's like a Russian Kampfgruppe in a sense.
Well, I mean, we have a rather unique position here. We have basically a couple of P-Ground squads and a... Ooh, the Shrek is trying to come in and around. This is going to be difficult, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you can take out one of those KV-85s, that will be more than enough. Especially when we have two more tanks coming into the south. We have another one going into the center. Yep, this is becoming a knockdown, drag-out fight. And yes, while I would say the 26 normally would be a much heavier and much more attritional deck, quality has to go to the Germans.
Yeah, he does. He's bringing out a lot of these Panzer IVs now, and he probably has that Panzer IV spammers, B phase, C phase cards, and in a tank fight, Spanisher does have the advantage. The Panzer IVs are usually, a bit more well-equipped to do with the KVs, in a sense, in terms of like gun and armor. Well, not armor, but in terms of veteran machine stuff. Anyway, he got a lot of Panzer IVs.
It is almost as devastating to watch as these Peakrens were putting the spank down over here on the Superiors in the open. And at long last, we actually see some air power.
Oh yeah, there's airplanes in this game. Just a Yak 9 and something German before I didn't catch its name.
ME-109 ground attack.
Here we go. Thank you, Khan.
You're welcome.
My eyes in the sky.
Which is funny, because I have terrible eyesight, IRL. But alright. So P-Shrek is going to take one look at the infantry charging up the hill and go, ah! And run the other direction, I would hope.
Nope, he's gonna charge him head on. And he's gonna die head on.
And along with head-on tactics, we actually have a P4 with a transmission damaged and the gun jammed is charging up the hill.
There we go.
You brave bloody idiot.
He's gonna run them over, that's what he's gonna do. But now he's gonna try and run them over backwards. And he's probably gonna die to that KV-85.
No doubt there. Taking a look back into the south to see how the ultimate cheeky push went, and it's going to go quite well as the P-Grounds are going to get caught out by absolute obscene amounts of PPSs. And P4s are starting to engage? No, it's actually we have a northern Pac 40 engaging these KV-85s and the T-34s at long range and doing God's work there.
Just look at it, like, yeah, it's such a lovely spot for our Pac 40 here. High ground, forest cover. He's just going to town here.
It's one of those things I kind of wish we had seen more of in the first game, was just having elevation matter.
Yeah, because there wasn't any elevation. There's like one or two maps that had like a slight bump in them, but apart from that, it's just,
But, by the way, we are in 1311 in favor of the Germans. The town to the south has fallen. And now the Germans are actually pushing.
Yeah, it says Spanischer did make the rise call of actually pushing the flanks. He still hasn't captured the hill, but he's pushing around the hill. So this is what you need to do, guys. If you if you get push heavy one area, you start pushing the others.
Almost it's interesting to me that for a guy with a name like Angry Bird, you'd expect him to have a little bit more air power, but that does not seem to be the case.
It does not. I know with 26 you do get access to cluster bomber planes, so maybe one or two of them would be pretty useful.
Almost as amusing as the fact that we've seen absolutely no anti-air. Now, given we've seen no air in the first place, but all the same.
There we got 2-star Runner 9 duel on it, Rovliak. Probably gonna go to the Runner 9, I guess. But in finally got actually some fire support P4s
Yep, especially when the other guy runs.
Here we go. 109's gonna kill him. Easy peasy. But, yeah, this is definitely where it's starting to get a little bit harder for Angry Bird in terms of attrition. He's probably starting to run out of tanks by now. Infantry still has a pretty good shot. But he does, he's bringing up more airplanes now on IL-237 up north. Going in for the strafe, and there's nothing.
Wow, he didn't even stress them out.
I think he lost line of sight and stopped shooting, missed completely. And now there's a 109 in his ass.
A little bit terrifying to see the fact that we have a hit squad of Soviet infantry. 3 Superiors. We have the Ultima Cheeky that's been there since the first seconds of this match.
They're still behind enemy lines. Oh.
And one ME-109 did go down, but Grosslin, the same hero of before, he might be getting a gun run at the IL-2. I think he's going to pick him up here.
Yep. Real tough birds to shoot down.
Hombre, I would have run a long time ago. He is pushing his luck.
He really is. IL-2, he's determined to stay over this area.
He's going to get maybe one more run.
Does he... What was he... Is he strafing the IG-18? Or what the hell?
I think it's maybe he was doing it like an attack round.
Oh, yeah, that's probably it. And now he's really attacking the ground.
Yeah, he was headbutting it, and unfortunately the ground did not blink.
You don't play chicken.
Ju-87 to the south, by the way, going after, I think, one of these anti-tank guns.
I'm always happy to see the bomber Ju-87. It's not the clusters, not the gun runners, just regular bombers, you know?
Well, it's a throwback.
Yeah. And there we go, Jericho horns and everything, and kaboom.
Is that they call them Jericho horns?
Yeah, when it does the
scream?
Yeah. They didn't actually... Sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
They didn't actually have them equipped on planes by this time on the Eastern Front, even though they were, intimidating. The problem was the Russians eventually got used to it, quote-unquote, and it just gave them, a headshot to duck.
That's funny, and yet just completely, heart-wrenching at the same time.
Yeah. Also, I think it made the plane slightly slower, so you gotta have speed.
Another IL-2 comes in and takes out that, P3 to the north. I do not believe he's going to make it out alive. However, this does put the German territory to the north in kind of a weird position, as we have almost a full company of Soviet infantry behind their lines.
Yep. This is very bizarre. I'm actually rather surprised that he doesn't have this under control, Angry Bird, but I guess it's those 2 Panzer Grenadiers all the way up north that is keeping the line secure, so to speak.
Well, and Angry Bird continues to have a blithe indifference about his own aircraft's lives. For me, I would have pulled the IL-2 back a good long time ago, especially when I had no anti-air.
Also, buying anti-air would be a very good idea for Angry Bird. I
completely agree there.
Oh. Yeah, it's just good use of air power from both sides now. I'm liking this a lot. And more Stukas. There we go.
Oh wow, I didn't even see that until it was too late. So the supply truck goes down, and we have the support P4s dueling with the KV-85. So this is only going to go one way.
They got a shooter knocked out in one of them at least, and the other one just gets sniped by a PTRD or AT gun, something along those lines.
You're probably right, the PTRDs. I'm not sure that the pack had no... Oh, maybe exist? Whatever. But 1311 with actually that infantry to the north going down, courtesy of those P grants, just shooting up that charging Studebaker truck.
Mm-hmm.
The Germans
still,
are... Please.
no, it still feels like anyone's game.
Yeah, I was actually going to make that comment. I was like, it looks like the Germans are resurgent, but I wouldn't, put my money on it immediately.
Like, both sides, I mean, the Trove right now, it's still pretty neck on neck. I mean, Spanischer is much lower in terms of point value, but still, I mean, this requires one big breakthrough from either side, and I think that'll be it.
The weird thing is right now we're seeing things like down below, Spanischer Rita has one Panzerschreck squad that, of course, cannot hold frontline territory, so he's just kind of twiddling his thumbs as the front lines just go the other direction.
Yep, we got some... Oh, we got the hero P4 down south, Mr. H. Hart.
Yep, Mr. Hoth.
Hoth with his Banshee P4.
Helmut, a quintessential Saxon name there.
Mm-hmm. I really do like how the P4s look, especially like the H models with all the side skirts. It looks very boxy, like a quintessential tank.
Yeah,
big
but
rolling
you know
box.
what? Despite the fact that that armor is still papier-mâché, like, you're right. There's a certain kind of like deadliness to it.
Yeah, you know, it's also like pretty impressive. They kept the Panzer IV running. I mean, by this point of the war, it's been in service for like 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy to think that the Germans really fought the war with stuff that was completely out of date.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I thought you were going to actually object to that one, so I'm just surprised you completely agree with me there.
No. But, well, yeah.
KV-85 claims another victim as they bring in another tank. And to the north, I think we're probably going to see a P4 getting forced to surrender as a Ju-87 takes out some Russian infantry.
I bet it's a dead P4. And I feel like Angerbad is kind of actually run out of infantry a bit. He doesn't have his crazy spam in the middle anymore, and Spanischer has managed to secure a foothold on the hill. So I think this is probably going to be Spanischer's game from what it seems.
I wouldn't count it out yet. We have seen that kind of thing before, though.
Mm-hmm.
You're also seeing just bit by bit these outposts being overrun, pinched out from basically either side. And as much as I want to go and say that there's a chance, I think you might be right. I think this might in fact be a game for our boys in blue.
Yeah, Spanischer's like, he's got the tank spam out now. He's just been spamming, like, he's P4 F-runs, he's got P3Ns, and he got them with, like, 2-star veterancy, too. He's not playing around here with, you know, the veterancy. And it's working. I mean, these P3s and P4 support tanks on the hill is perfect territory for them. Close range, you know, good infantry support guns, can stun up tanks quickly with a fast fire rate.
Can we talk about this actually real quick? We have a Ju-87 making a bombing run. This is maneuver warfare at its best, because now we have the quick dropout of infantry on the front lines. We have the bombing run coming in right now.
There we go. And
a bit of a whiff.
Mm-hmm. We got a second one now. An Angry Bird, where the hell is your anti-air?
I'm not sure he believes in that.
And the other JU, yeah, there we go. Doesn't kill the KV-85, but it's definitely going to be running back home.
By the way, the brave Pigrens behind the enemy lines up to the north, I think their time has come.
Yeah, they're now behind enemy lines, but they're still holding. They're probably going to die. Oh, you are correct. Angry Bird are losing by the +2 now, so yeah.
And what's dancing down the... Ooh, whoa, I didn't even see that.
down south and actually gets a kill. 50-50 works. And it's probably going to die.
Which is very lucky. It's actually much lighter price than Spanisher could have paid with that.
Yeah, yeah. That was not a worthwhile trade for Angry.
KV-85 and the center goes down. Could not tell you to what, because it doesn't seem like anything there is actually heavy enough to take it out. But with that, where are the Russian tanks?
I think they all went kaboom.
I didn't know that was a holiday that the Slavs recognized.
They all went to the kaboom, honey. I don't know where they are.
They said they were going for a quart of elbow grease and some highlighter fluid.
Highlighter flirt as well, you know. You got, like, got to refill the highlighters when they run out.
I meant to say headlight fluid, but they made about just as much sense in the first place.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It's just more and more tanks are rolling off the front lines, and now we have, geez, this is constant bombing coming on in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this Spanisher, he's actually made like a pretty decent 20th Panzer attrition deck. I'm surprised, honestly. I didn't really think he could make it work so well, but he's got the tanks rolling in, and he has enough infantry to get things done.
He was assisted by a couple of things, like his opponent kind of fixating a lot on one area. I feel like,
Yes.
we talk about this pretty consistently as well, that while Spanish saw that there was going to be a slowdown, to say the least, he started going after the flanks. And the Russians could definitely have done that just as successfully. I think they're just about 5 or 6 minutes too slow in realizing that.
Yeah, Angry Bird spent a lot of resources holding that hill. Maybe a little bit too much. He really sort of diverted stuff up north and down south to help secure those areas. Also, Angry Bird, seriously, you need to like actually buy anti-aircraft units. Thank you. He's got an M15 now. He's got something. But letting Spanisher just fly around willy-nilly and just drop all those bombing runs with Stukas really hurt Angry Bird's front line by a lot.
Well, he might lose a couple more squads right here. The lone guard, the dead guard. Did he call the bombing run in time? He did. Oof, this could be super bad. And not in a Seth Rogen kind of way. But that being said, that was, again, I feel like we had like maybe like a rope-a-dope kind of thing going on here from Spanisher Reiter. Just kind of getting pounded for about 20 minutes.
And the Panzers came.
Looking to the north as we have two superior squads huddling in the forest as everyone else marches on by, and I think here comes another point or two over here in favor of the Germans. As those peak run squads come back into supply.
There we go.
An Angry Bird taps. And yeah, I mean, the KD was not really a massive swing in either direction.
No, it's pretty back and forth. Looking at the chronology, like it's from 9 minutes till 11 minutes. A lot of German things die, but then after it's pretty back and forth. There's some freaks here and there.
You know, the strange thing too is that if you look at the kills and losses, for the most part, there's a couple like vague standouts. Like there's a Grossland, the ME-109, that was the 2 Iron Cross guy. He's got 4 kills. But outside of that, I mean, we have 1 infantry squad in the Russians who takes out a good number. We have 1 tank over there that takes out a good number. No real standouts. It's a lot of trades back and forth.
Yeah, there's a real slugging match between both sides, but Spanisher managed to hold on longer. He run the attrition warfare.
Indeed, he did. But folks, with that in mind, congratulations to our Spanish knight, and unfortunately, a bit of commiseration for our Russian red over here. But I guess until next time, this is Connorwork.
I'm Mangru, take it easy.